Well, hello, Kingsmen. Welcome back to the Napoleonic Total War 3 battlefield. Today, we have another 4v4 for you. This one is going to be, well, let me kind of explain the setting here. So we have, of course, the French army versus a UK 10-pointer, Austria 10-pointer, 9-point Russia, and 9-point Russia-Austria. It does sound like the coalition brought a lot of guns, is what they were saying, like a lot of artillery. You can see already artillery firing. You see Austria has 9 guns, so a bunch of 5-pounders, some 10-pounders. UK have 12-pounders, a lot of guns there as well, but they do not have the high ground. France starts out with a lot of high ground here. You can see they're probably going to utilize that. I guess it'll be a battle of seeing who can, you know, defend better or attack better, because obviously the coalition is going to have to probably use their artillery to really set the tone of this battle, and you know, use artillery to maybe push back the French. The thing about France is they can fall back behind this hill and take shelter and force the coalition to have to come to them. At the same time, you don't want to give up any part of that hill to the coalition. Now, we do have Austria, Russia pushing across the river here. They do have some 6-pounders or some horse artillery. Actually, quite a bit of horse artillery. No, that's Russia 9-pointer. Yeah, we do have some horse artillery for Russia. And then, like I said, 2 horse artillery, 4 plus more guns over here. Man, the coalition brought a lot of artillery. This is, I think, 38 guns total is what he was saying. Let's see, because that's 4, that's 8, that's 10, 12. 12 already. What is that? Oh, no, I can't do math. That's 12. What did I say? That'd be 14, 16, 18, 21. Where's the 6 guns? 21, 25, and then 26, 27, 28. Is there even more? See, 28 guns so far. Oh, here, oh my gosh, I missed these. 9, 30, 31, 32, 33, 34, 35, 36, 37, 38. Oh my gosh, they have so much artillery, guys. I am concerned. The French just need to be able to, you know, throw up cav, maybe try to derive off the coalition's artillery, because they are bringing so much artillery, and the French probably are going to be very defensive. Because they have the high ground, they're probably going to want to sit back. We are seeing some light infantry pushing forward here for France. Haven't seen a ton yet. More cav now, so they are starting to scout here. Let's hope that for the French sake that they brought some cav, like they brought a good amount of cav, because the coalition, they have cav, but not tons of it. I mean, we do have some Kazakis here. We have Cavalry. Okay, so they brought some really good, oh my goodness, two heavy cav units here, plus some Kazakis. But yeah, artillery already setting up. Those horse artillery are super fast and mobile. They set them up and are already starting to fire at the French, maybe drive them back. Now for Austria, like I said, they are bringing some cuirassiers, dragoons, 2 dragoons, cuirassiers, and then another dragoon over here. The UK, I do believe, bringing just, what is this? This is some not the greatest quality Portuguese cav. This is some heavy Spanish cav. But they have a lot more line infantry. In fact, they are bringing a lot of Portuguese. They did bring a couple UK line infantry as well. Some Fusiliers, some King's German Legion. Just a good backbone, and then some more Portuguese line infantry to kind of buffer up there. Like I said, Austria being the first to push up here, though. They're going to maybe take this front hill. They do have some very large, beefy units. Austria does very well with that. And they're going to push up probably to this high ground. France on the other side. Like I said, France may want to defend the hill, at least for now, taking the high ground, setting up their artillery. I highly doubt they have as much artillery as the coalition does. And, I mean, historically, France always had more superior artillery units and numbers, I believe, you know, compared to the coalition. And, I mean, I think Napoleon was like an artillery commander when he first started, so it would make sense that France focused on their artillery so well. Setting the tone, though. Smashing down, hitting some light infantry getting some casualties already inflicted against France. More, Chasseur Cheval pushing forward in the center. They need to start scouting. They need to start just setting the momentum here. They have no idea, though, yet, probably, that the coalition has so much artillery, and they may not even ever figure that out till near the end of the battle. Now, Russia, I am a little concerned. They have just 2 heavies pushing up with no real support. They need some light cav supporting their line. I mean, they're pushing up, light infantry and some lines. Looks like they have a good mixture of Russian and Austrian lines. Actually, no, almost all Austrian lines here. There we go. There's the musketeers. There's the Russians. They're going to push up here. They definitely are trying to take a edge, a flank. They have the horse artillery pushing up extremely close. And as you can see, France is going to try to charge up maybe their cav. Their hussars, though, they're going to fall back. I mean, still, heavy cav being up by themselves, that's still very dangerous. Let's see what France has over here. Dragoons, plenty of dragoons. Now, they do have their horse artillery to back up the line. France pushing up a lot of line infantry. They're definitely going to want to take this LOC. Oh, they have some Swiss. I love the Swiss uniforms. The drip. Look at that, the blue and the red. I think this is Swiss. I'm pretty sure this is Swiss. I feel really bad if embarrassed if this is not Swiss somehow. But oh, we have the horse artillery firing already. Now the French do have this LOC on this left side now. Like I said, we do see infantry up here. I hope they don't stand here and just take repeated artillery fire from the coalition. Hopefully they kind of take some shelter, even setting down a little bit in this this hill. You know, Austria is not peeking over, even though I think they should be. They should be fighting. They should be fighting the French for like going down into this like valley. They should fight them for that. Now, if I was the French, I would hold 1 or 2 armies here, maybe just one, and push the left side. The left side is a little bit more momentum setting, especially since, you know, you can see the coalition getting very aggressive here quickly off the bat, and seeing that Russia-Austria has 2 of these heavy cav units, you know that they spent a lot of money on cav and not as much on infantry, so they're going to be pretty weak when it comes to that. I mean, you can see here they don't have a whole lot of infantry. It still is a decent amount of infantry. That's like 11 lines. The artillery is their secret weapon, but if France gets aggressive, they can obsolete that. Now we do have Russia going for an angle here. We got our first cav charge here. We have the dragoons charging against some Chasseur Cheval on the hillside. We have some Austrian dragoons to back this up, but these Chasseur Cheval are not going to do well against a head-to-head. Now we do have line infantry as well firing. I don't know why the sound is not working. France going in, actually getting a flanking charge with the hussars. Oh no, Russia actually got caught out. Now there's gonna be a countercharge maybe by Austria's dragoons. Horse artillery set up on the high ground. Like I said, guys, France has excellent high ground here. Poor France is just getting battered up by artillery here, but the coalition is setting up, pushing a lot of cav to this side. We do have those lights holding this corner. I don't know if they can form square or not, but it doesn't really matter. We get deadly volleys off. Now you gotta wonder where the rest of the French army is. You do hear drumming over here. There's 2 lines over here, but the coalition is not budging from their position. They seem to like this position. LOC wise though, eventually they're gonna have to maybe push something. Coalition needs 1 of these LOCs. There's only 2 on this field, and France has 1, and I guess they have the other, so it's a deadlock even. Am I right? Yeah, it's a deadlock even, so actually no one really has to make a push. I feel like they should have at least 1 more LOC, like right here. That way someone has to fight for this and advance on it. Interesting that, you know, they don't. Artillery backed by some light infantry pushing up against France. France has their troops set up, ready to go, ready to receive the enemy. I don't know. I feel like Russia's gonna die. Those poor Jaegers are gonna die. Now the artillery, like I said, guys, already pouring in. This is a lot of guns. This is 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 guns, plus 4 more coming on this side. The coalition are really going to start putting the hurt on. France will either have to sit there and take multiple artillery fire, like a ton of artillery fire with nothing really being done on their side, or they're going to have to be very aggressive and attack. I still think attacking on this side may be a wise choice with cavalry support. They see some heavies on that side. Now, both sides a little hesitant right now, it seems. And honestly, the coalition are getting time to set up. If there's anything you should not let the coalition do, hold that thought, because we have some cavalry charging in the back lines. Oh no, they're going for the 12-pounders, and actually they're doing a coordinated two-pronged attack here. Did they just take out all the guns? Holy cow, they did. The UK lost both guns. France well coordinated with their attack. We do have more infantry. Oh wow, these guys are gonna die. So much cav behind the enemy lines here. Wow. Oh my goodness, Russia is gonna lose their general? I think they won't. Lancers charging against those chasseurs cheval. France pulling out some lightning, like blitz tactics here, going in behind the enemy. Ooh, they actually may get these, this cav unit here. They're gonna charge them on two sides, it looks like. As they are charging this Portuguese cav charging in, we have a flanking charge with some more hussars. As there's now that clash. Artillery crew did come back, but they are now stuck there. And crisis may actually be finally averted. Now, we did have some more cav clashing potentially over here where Russia's charging them down, but that was a close one, and UK definitely lost a lot. They lost their artillery, and now that this side's a little weaker for France. But now Austria is firing, and they have quite the amount of guns, plus Russia fire. Oh no. Oh, come on. With this many guns, you have to be able to defend your guns. If France had one more cav unit over here, they'd charge down and be an easy W. Look at only one cav unit defending how many guns is this? 10, 12, 14 guns? A little unreal. I mean, they need more cav defending this. This is a massive investment of gold. Huge investment. I mean, look at these. There's so many guns here, guys. This is like Gettysburg. Like when the Confederates massed up all their guns all at once. We do have the French. I mean, they have actually surprisingly not taken heavy losses. These are, those are 10-pounders. They'll do damage, but the 5-pounders probably won't do as much damage as the 10-pounders will. Now they are starting to get knocked down. That's gonna hurt over here on this side. It looks like we have, oh, France charging in. Oh my goodness, they just hit a massive line. What a well-timed charge. If they only had more cav to follow it up, I think they just cushioned in too many units. Still, Russia, Austria is gonna get hurt really badly by that one. Their infantry probably took some pretty heavy losses. And now France is here, so we're gonna get our first line fight here. France, oh my goodness, showing up out of the woodwork. Pushing forward their lines, and they have slowed down the enemy. Now, I think France probably has a square or two. This is probably a square. Or not. Yeah, Austria, they should pull back their cavalry guard. They needed to commit to that charge or not commit at all, and they kind of did half, but they're managing to save them. They're going to have to rest them up a little bit, though. The artillery is going to probably even this fight. They're going to fire on this side, but Russia, Austria definitely pushing up, being very aggressive. Over on this side, it looks like nothing is going to happen. I really would love to see Austria try to push here, but it's a rough position to assault. This flank may be a little bit more realistic for them to attack with. France definitely outnumbers the Russian-Austrian army. But with the heavy cav, I think I would love to see a bayonet charge supported by some cavalry guard charging in. Oh my goodness, like it is a beautiful thing, and you know these guys can't form square. One of them would have. So pushing up the Russian lines and then going in with some cavalry guard, you could wreck the French line so easily. Make it a GG's on that side at least and start pushing the flank. France does seem to have taken this small town here. The UK may actually have to try to push it up a little more, getting more aggressive. Now that Austria and Russia have set up in the center, they could maybe make a push. The problem is their ally is basically alone over here. And France could easily send one more army over here, and they could just push the coalition and keep one army to defend the hill with the other one. So keep two armies here against the three coalition armies. And, you know, it would be a 2v1 over on this side. Maybe that's what France is going to do. Right now, they aren't doing much except for taking the artillery shots from the coalition. I would fall back my lines unless I'm about to attack. You're just wasting men to all this artillery. Oh no, not again. Excuse me. Dragoons are going in against the horse artillery. Artillery did fire, but oh man. Was it worth it? They lost one of their artillery pieces and they lost their cav, so France can throw more cav. Like I was saying before, guys, coalition brought a lot of artillery, but did they bring cav to back it up? They gotta defend. They gotta defend that cav. More Russians pushing down this road here. Ooh, do we have some? We have some Prussian. This is why I like Russia 9. You can bring Prussian infantry. It works like line infantry. It has like a reload skill of like 70s, 80s with super good accuracy, and they just fire so fast. It's so accurate. It's deadly. Now they're terrible in melee, but for Russia 9, it works really well. They are reinforcing that side though. What happened here? Did some French cav charge in and destroy the artillery piece again? Well, that's terrible. Oh no. I missed it. Looks like the guns got charged. Yep. Oh man, that's unfortunate. Those guns barely even got a fire. That's like 5 guns right there. So as much as the coalition brought a lot of guns, they are losing them pretty fast. I mean, you really, like, they got to be a little more vigilant, hopefully, so they can utilize, because attacking uphill against France is going to be rough. And France may just ignore them and then push over here on this side. Over here, though, they are getting toasted, and they just are standing here and taking it. And they don't have to. There's the massive gun battery, though. Man. Talk about a lot of guns. What are they even firing at? Oh, they're counter battering here. France has some guard artillery up on the hill. Excellent positioning on their part. It's gonna be really rough to go up against those guard artillery. Now they do have more guns over here, still firing. It's probably getting frustrating for the French because they've taken out a couple guns and there still seems to be too many enemy guns. Probably a very frustrating thing. It's like Elau all over again. There's just so many stinking Russian guns. I would like to see people be more aggressive. Standing back and just waiting it out is, I mean, it's a little boring. And also, you know, you don't want to spend the whole battle just being too cautious. Throw caution to the wind every once in a while. Make some risks. Try to hit them. It's better to be super aggressive and set the momentum of a battle than to sit on your army, you know, for the majority of the fight. I may actually skip ahead. I don't want to make you guys sit through artillery shooting, so I may skip ahead if nothing happens here. And till when the action actually starts. Right now, no action seems to be happening whatsoever. The French may be trying to relocate forces. Maybe they're going to push this left side. That's what I would do right now, is push the left side. Anyway, guys, if something doesn't change, I'm going to skip ahead to when stuff does change. All right, so we have some French movement definitely pushing over to the left side here. Oh, we have some cavalry fighting in the way back. Some dragoons getting just annihilated by France. France just surrounding and killing them. I think they're trying to use their light cav to get rid of any French cavs sitting in the back so that they don't get charged in the back and lose more artillery. These hussars probably are pretty good. France definitely has a cav advantage when it comes to the light cav, and they're everywhere. But yeah, France look like they're marching across the river. I would not be surprised if we see France also mobilize more troops this way and try taking on the Russian-Austrian army. Russia is still, the coalition are being super passive here. They have the artillery to be very aggressive and use artillery to push up. Granted, they don't have cav, and if France threw in any cav right here, they'd be screwed. All these guns, unless they could fire, they would be screwed. Now the artillery still is trying to counter battery this guard. But I don't think they even killed a single man. Well, they've killed one. For all the guns, it doesn't seem to be working very well for them. And now we have light infantry from Russia that pushed into the house. This is where, as France, I would push up some good melee troops and take it out. It's an easy win against light infantry. Light infantry are not as great at melee, so, you know, easy way to kill off some of the Russian troops. And we're about, what, 22 minutes in here? And they're being a little too stagnant for my liking. They are pushing up their artillery, and I guess they have built their armies around being artillery mains, I guess what you could say. Now Russia is actually moving. Where are they going? So they are shifting over here. I think maybe they're gonna try to push this other side here. Here we go, though. France is sending in some... Oh, the grenadiers. These Russians are screwed. I'm gonna say that right now. These Russians are screwed. Look at this. Watch how fast they're gonna die. Yep, they're dying really fast. There's the officer. Oh, even the flag bearer is getting some kills. There's the officer. Ooh. Oh, the dodges, though. He's like an MMA fighter. Oh, he's dead. Yeah, they are going to die so fast here. Now, we do have more Russian... Okay, don't use your light infantry to charge in, though. That just... doesn't seem... That's not wise. These are light infantry. Use them to shoot. Use them to shoot. Don't use them to bayonet charge the enemy. Use... well, shoot. Their Russians are way over here. Russia is going to lose this pretty easily. France just has better quality. And they are rolling up. Hopefully we'll see some action here. Hopefully we'll see them attack. Yep, we have France pushing across here. I think they have repositioned their forces. And they're going to start being aggressive. I hope. I really hope. I love to see the aggressive play, like I said before. And the coalition definitely is a little too extended here. Now, like I said, they are pushing over Russian reinforcements here, I think. Yep, they're pushing over the reinforcements. On this right side, they could even fall back across the river, have the artillery set up right here. They can defend this push. Those light infantry haven't not broken yet. Oh, we had some Austrians push in here.
This building has fallen.
But still, the Austrians are better at shooting as well. That's one Austrian soldier. I would not keep throwing troops in here. They are going to waste a lot of troops trying to throw them in here. They need to get some Russian lines to push up here. Now, hold that thought, because we do have some cavalry running around. Oh, did they take out another artillery piece? How did that happen? I'll bet you the artillery's focusing on them as they were limbering up. But we may have the UK. See, the UK has such excellent shooting. Oh, no. I would charge that. Because these guys are either going to volley these and kill their own men, or they're going to make it. Are they going to form some squares? Oh, no. Coalition is just throwing away the artillery advantage they had. And France is inflicting some heavy losses on the artillery without really losing a whole lot of cavalry. France looks like they may be actually starting to get really aggressive here, which is, like I said, what I want to see. What I like to see. The coalition... Yeah, I think they've lost 2 lines now to this one LOC. Yeah, they do not have the right troops to take that LOC and hold it. Sorry guys, it's not the action-packed battle maybe that, you know, some of the other ones have been. But, you know, sometimes it's good to take a different pace that when you appreciate the, like, action-packed, instant action of everything else. France is advancing, hopefully. They're not going to stop now. They have really battered up the enemy. I mean, the artillery is still a problem. If they sent some cav, which they do have cav here, some dragoons, they could push up and they could destroy this artillery position. I mean, this artillery is the only thing that's really saving the coalition on this right side. And Russia is still pretty far away. They're trying to march over here with their entire army. This does look very nice, I will say. Looks very, very nice. They still have, like, 10 guns here? 9 guns? So France is still heavily outnumbered when it comes to artillery, but it looks like they're actually attacking here. We'll see if cavalry eliminates. If cavalry eliminates this artillery grand battery, it is over for the coalition on this right side, probably. I mean, they don't have the guns to defend their infantry. We do have an attack here on the right side here. Russia going up in a line battle. France should win this. They're a little better at shooting. But Russia does have the grove. They have some trees for a little bit of defense here. And you see they're starting to drop here. Now, the Austrian lines will do very well in a shooting match. So this is something that they could definitely start to win here. If France stays a little too passive in this line fight, they could actually start losing that one with the artillery advantage. The UK pushing up here. I think they're going to start hitting some troops by the LOC. This is another rough one because this is the UK have some really good shooting. Hopefully, if Austria pushed up as well here, you know, I think what they're going to do is be defensive on this hill, and they're shifting over a lot of reinforcements as France is shifting up. And this is a very realistic attack here. Now, we do have the cavalry going to attack here. Are they? Nope. Still, I wouldn't even put infantry in front of these guns. This is going to be death by artillery barrage here. Now you can see Russia, yeah, they are really getting hurt here. More French shifting over to the flank here. We have Cuirassier. Oh my goodness. So France does have some heavy stuff. They just barely used it. We have some horse artillery on the flank here. They're going to start focusing down this cavalry guard, I guarantee it. Now, France on this side could potentially be in big trouble here. Ooh, Russia may get the guns. There's nothing to defend the guns. And a masterful stroke, getting rid of some more French guns. Like I said, France may get flanked by Russia. France is showing their hand here. a little bit as the coalition is finally making the attack. Oh, so happy to finally see this. They're gonna attack up hill. France is gonna have probably a bit of a, who knows what's actually here. There seems maybe one French army, maybe. We do have Russia now rolling over, sending over their general. Oh, who's this? This looks like Imperial Guard gen. And there's nothing nearby to defend it. We do have Cav rushing over here. Who can make it over to the other side first? Oh man, this artillery is just destroying the French position. They're trying to fight on that side. They are pushing across here as well. Oh man, Russia wasn't able to get to the guns. These guys are tired in battle. Russian general, or not Russian, but French general able to get away. Here we go. We got a hill defense here. UK finally attacking here. They're now Austria backing them up. The French are going to utilize some high ground. There's a nice little valley here. They can push troops on either side. They have artillery up here on the right side. They start really pouring in some artillery fire on the UK position. Oh, we have some dragoons from Russia. They are just going out for an attack. I feel like France could form a square. Or maybe not. Yeah, there's their square. And Russia was able to push back that side. Now over on this side, I think Russia may actually get caught in the dry river. Their lines are not looking too good as France is hotly pursuing them. We have some cavalry way over here. What do we got? Oh, these guys are facing the wrong way. They should be facing the other way. Maybe France notices that. They can send their hussars in and just charge these guys in the back. Some Spanish grenadiers as well. France is now holding in a massive ring. They have two French armies here. We do have cavalry pushing up, charging the French position. These guys are not going to be able to form square. Just watch out for the lines shooting your guys as they're in melee. Austria now pushing forward. Oh, we have some French cavalry. Russia is now on the attack. Don't run your troops. Just don't run them. Like, they're going to be so tired. They're already active. You want them fresh. Just march them forward. You can catch the enemy. Running them isn't going to do much. One volley, that they're going to be active and they're not going to actually aim as well. They'll be tired by the time they actually fight. Just push up. You'll catch them. And here we go. Oh my goodness. Coalition going in for a massive charge here. France sending in some dragoons of their own. Now we have more Austrian dragoons pushing up. Maybe going to try to get a flank on these French position. Take the high ground maybe with their line infantry. France looking pretty wavery. More cav now rushing over here. France seems to be holding this position quite well at the moment. Oh my goodness, more cavalry. We have the heavies going in, clashing against France. France falling back a little bit in disarray here. They're going to form up and probably start shooting across the air. Unfortunately, this cav is probably almost dead. But France had a massive break. They just got to be a little cautious now. With the dry riverbed, it's going to be a little rough. And France is countercharging here, swinging in. Surprisingly, the coalition got across the river. France could stand here in a fight and then push troops across the bridge. There's not enough coalition forces here to defend.
The men are fatigued, sir, and must
we do have that cav charge broke a Russian line. France still holding strong. Let's see if Russia maybe can try to close in from melee. The cavalry from Austria is really hurting this French attack or French defense. I mean, even the light dragoons, the chambermaids. But we have some cav behind the lines still. Who want to keep their general. UK wants to keep the general alive. French lines still fighting against those light dragoons, breaking. France has shattered in the center by the hill. They had no cavalry to counter. They had no squares. Austria now can start descending and take up the flank for France. France definitely footed this charge quite well. So they formed a square. Russia closed in with some cavalry, but it did not work. Russia's gonna be very careful. There's a line here that's gonna start shooting them while they're in melee and breaking them. Over on this side, we have a huge cav charge. Cuirassiers clashing with the cavalry guard. More cav going around. Uh-oh. This cav could save the day here and take out that cavalry guard. A general nearby to inspire the men. Yep, Russia's gonna lose this. Their general is in danger if they don't get him out of there. And France can start pushing this flank. They have a huge line sitting here that can be pushed over to this side. I don't know what this line is doing, but they need to fall back over here. They ought to know their ally is in danger of getting massively outflanked here, as Austria is now descending on the right flank of France. And they are actually separating the French from each other. Austria's kind of driven a wedge using UK's push to kind of push in between. And France needs to not have the whole line just standing here in the driver. They need to push them forward here. France has, wow. I bet you they popped an Inspire, and that heavy cav just did so much better. This fight's still raging as it's heavies versus heavies. Both sides. I mean, there's some French infantry to help back up this side, but I think France may take somewhat of a win here. Now France is pushing across the river. Okay, here we go. We got France pushing. France is pushing troops over. Russia charging in against more French lines. France is wisely falling back, maybe to consolidate with their ally. At this point, just sticking around the LOC and holding maybe by the stove, by the wall, you know, in the grove. Be a wise choice here. But this UK army is pretty healthy. So, just because you have the high ground, I think lesson learned here in this battle, just because you have the high ground doesn't mean you want to sit on the high ground for too long. Now, I think the French were trying to march off and attack here, so, you know, I'd say probably a good thing still. These Cuirassiers, France are probably exhausted. I mean, so is the cavalry guard. Oh my goodness. We have a bayonet charge by Russia after breaking several units here trying to push across this river. This bayonet charge by Russia may actually drive back the French as they are falling back. So much running by both sides when they're not in bayonet charging. It's so weird. Here we go. France is going to start countercharging here. Or counterattacking here. Russia and Austria. Russia are probably going to try to push across and stop that. Nip it in the bud. France shifting over more reinforcements to this side as well, as I mean, France is hit pretty hard here, and I don't know if things are going to come back for them. A building has been captured, and France is across the river. They can still hold here, I'd say. But we will see. France did seem a little bit passive. Ooh, excuse me. France did seem a little bit passive, though, in my opinion. I think they could be a little more aggressive near the beginning of the fight. As a general rule, the coalition's artillery takes a little while to come up. And the reinforcements coming up. Like, Russia took a while to re-shift over here, and if they had not been able to shift over and counterattack France, Austria, Russia would have totally folded. I mean, they were attacked by two separate French armies. That's a solid shot there with the artillery. But France is going to counterattack more. They're going to have to probably push up these lines to defend. France shifting over to help on this side. I mean, they have to relocate their forces. France seems to be making a vicious last stand here. line's ready to hold this hill. For the UK faction, I mean, they brought a massive amount of troops.
Now they must train.
Oh man, the general went in for artillery? I don't know if I would have set my general in. There's a cav sitting right here, or just push your lines up. Your morale's gonna take a huge, like, your morale is gonna be terrible after losing the general. See, France has got some massive grenadier unit. They could have pushed these guys up and closed it with melee with Russia. Done deadly work. I think this is even a combat gen. But yeah, the coalition is actually falling back. This attack definitely not going well for them. Over on this side, though, France, they have finally put up a line on the left side, holding on this side. Hopefully, those reserves for France are pushing up. They could push back. I don't think this side's gonna go. Oh my goodness, France went in for a melee. An all or nothing against the Portuguese. Portuguese actually bayonet charging along the side here. Counter-charging. Unfortunately, France is finished over here. I mean, this was probably like a 6-pointer, maybe a 7-pointer, going up against a 10-pointer, 2 10-pointers. So, you know, that's rough. That's not going to go very well. I don't know what kind of troops they brought. Oh, they brought some Austrians. Ha, that's funny. That's a little too many troops to be fighting on that, but, you know, whatever.
Our men are running, sir.
Here we go. Got a bayonet charge? Yes, we do. Russia getting charged by some grenadiers. That is not going to go well for them. Although, wow. Oh, these are pretty good musketeers, I guess. These are pretty good units. They threw back. So what should have happened there was, if you're charging on the flank with grenadiers, push them in the line of retreat, bayonet charge again, or fire on the flank of the enemy as they're, you know, in melee. That's the way to break them. Don't just throw one gren up by itself. Push up the forward lines that are in front of that line to get closer, and if anything, they'll throw in one more line to break them, and then you can start the mass route on the enemy line. The coalition is very successful here. The hill did not really get held that well, and the coalition is now looking to seal up the rest of the French army, which is actually rather strong still. We have 20-something minutes remaining. Now, the LSCs are in favor of the coalition at this point. We do have some cavalry that charged in. The not the cavalry guard, the other guard cav. Not doing too hot. Russia definitely, and Austria definitely starting to get worn down. These Grens are starting to chop them up. And they're going to start falling back here. They may actually have a numerical superiority on this right side, though. Oh, do we have the Cavalry Guard going against some Cuirassiers, finishing what they've started a long time ago? And that Cuirassier just breaking instantly. Yeah, France is going to lose this one, is my prediction. There's too many fresh coalition armies still. And the artillery is still pretty dominant on the coalition side. So
Sir, our general is under attack.
oh, more cav charging against the artillery. Oh wow, they got broke immediately. So here's all the artillery. Look at this huge gun battery here. They can start forcing back. Like, in fact, France, now they don't have the LOC. I would even say fall all the way back across this river. Let your guns do some of the shooting for you. Force back the enemy. Now we do have some crosshairs charging here. Are they gonna be able to shoot these guys down to size? Oof. And that guy's plate looks quite grand. Look at that.
We have killed their general, sir. Now they must trade.
More lines going in. Russia going for the bayonet, give them the cold steel, and France is going to start really wavering on this right side. The fight's still a little iffy. Over on this side, I mean, France was getting totally outnumbered here. That cavalry guard going in on the rear charges. Sorry, I didn't really catch it, but yeah, they began breaking. I think France is picking the wrong stand here. I think they shouldn't be standing right here. They should be falling back. However, they are looking to throw back some Russians. In fact, they are countercharging some carabineers or some sappers. Wow, what a mass rout. Holy cow, they just broke the right side here. I mean, more reinforcements pushing over. In the UK, honestly, these guys are just hanging out here. They should be pushing over to help their ally out. Their ally's actually getting struck back a little bit here. I don't know how many how many French troops are left, but they threw them back. This artillery is probably going to even the odds, though. They can force back any French attack that pushes on this hill until they get reinforcements coming from over yonder. And they are probably going to start winning this fight here. I mean, France does have some troops, but here comes Russia, Austria. France should be trying to close in on some melee. They have done too much standing back as France. In France, you need to walk. If you're not walking towards the enemy to get in melee, you're probably going to lose. Now, we've seen some fights where the French definitely outshot like Prussia and that sort of thing. So it does work. I'm not saying it doesn't, but as a general rule, you want to get into melee. See how France threw back like 4 or 5 units of coalition just by going into the melee, giving them the cold steel. And that's exactly what they're doing even here. The stats for France are much better when it comes to melee than most any other faction. We do have France trying to stand up here, make a stand against this Russia, Austria as they're pushing over to get the flank. I mean, France is not going down without a fight. Oh, wow, they're going to drop some of these poor Austrians. And these guys are fresh, and these Austrians are not, for the most part. They're pretty tired, have taken some losses. France should do pretty well defending this flank, and they have reserves, so there's plenty of troops left for France. France is actually not out of this fight yet, by any means. Austria did do a counter charge here with some of their lines, and they are throwing back the French attack. And they did push them back. But they're gonna, honestly, they're gonna need the reinforcements from the UK and the rest of Austria. And keep in mind, the French have artillery over here, so they can lock down this side. They have thrown back Russia, Austria, and are even actually attacking here. These Prussians, however, will do very well in a line fight, so they can just get them to where they can keep shooting. They're going to do well. Now they got to make sure you have some Russians to kind of defend them in melee. Do we still have some French holding? I haven't been paying attention to this side. There's some French units here, mostly light infantry, just holding this one small hill against a couple UK forces. And actually, man, the UK are getting shredded up here. France seems to be making a slight comeback. I don't know if it's going to be enough, especially with so many coalition forces pushing over here. But they sure aren't making it easy on the coalition. This stone fence has been fought over multiple times now. And France is counterattacking as well. Man, yeah, it's like Russia, Austria just got like thrown back. I guess we'll have to see. I mean, I thought France was dead for sure. And I think they still will die. But they have been putting up quite the fight, and the coalition was doing so well near the beginning of the end. But now France, they just finally showed a ton of reserves. And the coalition was so spent, I think the French were just marching in and just sweeping them away. Like over here on this right flank, this army is very tired and probably very close to breaking if they get into a fight with the much fresher French armies. We have some of the French artillery rolling up as well. And France is just beginning to fight, it feels like. And they look like they're even going in for the LOC. Sending in what looks like maybe some light infantry for... Wow, these guys' uniforms are very similar. But Russia, line musketeers versus some potential... I think some French light infantry are now streaming up. Yeah, I don't think... I'm concerned that Russia may not have this. But I think they did throw back the French. Here we go. We got some cav now pushing up here. Going to go for the guns and a general. Oh, where's the French cav? Oh, France. Oh, no, France. Lost the artillery and the general here. You can see them morale's probably going to start wavering already for the coalition. Now we got a countercharge going for more guns. You gotta be kidding me. Oh, France had no cav. They do have some infantry here. France is constantly trying to get their artillery away, but I don't think they're gonna make it. France, now that the UK is here to push across the massive amount of reinforcements, I mean, France is gonna start caving. Unfortunately, with the vicious defense they have put up, they are probably gonna start caving here. I don't know what happened to this Austrian army, but they are just gone. Any remainder of them are over here by the Russians. Cav charge is not looking too hot, but France is shooting himself in the back to kill him. And it breaks them. Now, ooh, we got some Austrians pushing up. They're counterattacking now. France is on the back foot. They've lost their artillery, lost a general. Their right flank seems to be caving. They have not taken the LOC. And the coalition has finally beat the other French on the hill. This fight is going to be, yeah, it's still going to be a coalition win. That's my prediction. But not a very easy coalition win for sure, as France has put up a massive fight around this. This LOC has been the site of massive fighting on this whole side. The fight over here, I mean, was pretty decisive against the French defending that hill. And you can see Russia, Austria actually bayonet charging here. Coordinating with Russia. Going in to finish off the French. And the wavering, because there's no general for France, this is going to be really what's going to affect the morale of France. They won't be able to hold as well because they don't have a gen. They did countercharge in throwback to the coalition, but here comes more Austrian lines to throw themselves in, and these guys got some decent shooting. And another LOC has been taken. So both LOCs definitely coalition held. And if France, even if France, I mean, there's only 11 minutes left. Even if France wins the line fight, they are not going to win LOC. So this fight, at this point, it's almost like a survival to the end. So it's just an LOC and not decisive anything else. France tried to go for that mass route here, trying to cave along the flank. Didn't really work too well for them. And France, I've seen no skirmishers by anybody. I just realized that. Oh, poor France getting shot in the face. They're charging in. Yeah, I've seen 80 skirms, and I think that's a mistake. I think France should have brought some skirms. I mean, both sides should have. I highly and heavily advocate for skirms. If you have skirmishers, you can do so much against the enemy with them. You can force them to actually attack you. You can... Okay, we got another bayonet charge here. A little bit of shooting in melee. Probably wasn't intentional. It automatically will do it sometimes. If you aren't doing anything, it'll just start shooting. Your men will start shooting. Yeah, I think France just has 1 or 2 units left, guys. I may just fast forward here. We can see, because at this point, it's just cleaning up the French remainder of forces here, and that'll be the game over. Like I said, guys, maybe not the closest fight or the most vicious tactics and well-placed tactics. Yeah, I know some people say that, you know, I prefer that I did like all pro gamers all the time, and I usually try to, because those are really good games. Sometimes either I don't have them. Usually it's because I don't have them. So, you know, don't be afraid if you're newer to send me a replay. I may do it. You can always learn either from the comments on the video at the end of it, or maybe commentary I can give will help you all to play better. You know, everybody started somewhere, so I don't mind at least checking it out. But anyway, sadly, I haven't gotten this fixed. I don't know if they're going to fix it anytime soon, but yeah, this is I believe the Austrian army got a lot of kills with the cavalry and line infantry. It was a vicious fight, to be sure. And I think the artillery, as much artillery as they brought, it didn't play a key role in that fight. I don't think it did. A little bit maybe on this side of the LLC with all those like 10, 11, 12, 14 guns they had total. But with how much artillery I saw them bring, it didn't change. The artillery didn't set the pace of the fight as much as it could have, I think. Also, with the positioning as it was, France having a good defense position and the coalition having to attack, artillery may not have been the best strategy, as, you know, you have to be really mobile. Maybe more cav would have been good, or more line infantry, or more of both. But everybody, to each their own when it comes to playstyle it. Anyway, guys, that'll be it for me today. Thank you so much for joining me. You guys have a great rest of your day. Stay safe, and I will catch you all in another video.